So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. In this learning series, I'll be helping you understand the Navy and providing guidance on how you can do your homework. This series is designed for those small businesses already making revenue, not those of you just starting off. While I think it'll be helpful for anyone to watch this series, if you aren't making profitable revenue, then you'd be better off watching videos designed to help you get into the government sector and start making a living revenue. Throughout this series, I'll be using a company that provides cloud services as my example, seeking to show you how I would help them learn about the Navy and pursue several $1 million new in revenue over the next 12 months. My guidance works the same, whether your firm delivers janitorial services, sells products, or in the construction field. In this session, I want to show you how I find information to help my business development and capture efforts. In particular, I want to find as much as I can in a quick search about the Navy's cloud strategies, challenges, goals, and who owns the cloud in the Navy. First, though, this content is brought to you by the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, the only organization dedicated to the success of all small businesses in the federal space, with members from Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands and every single state in between. Each year, roughly $125 billion is awarded to small businesses as prime contractors. Our vision is to double that number by helping small businesses truly understand the process for success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. By helping you succeed further in government contracting, we'll be strengthening American communities together. My name is Neil McDonnell, and I've been where you are now. I've been a small business owner for 20 years, building 2 successful firms selling to the federal government. I've won subcontracts with small and large prime contractors. I've won prime contracts with defense and civilian agencies. I've done things right, and I've gotten things wrong. The one thing missing, though, for me then and you now, is an easy-to-follow process that'll lead to predictable success. That's my commitment to you. I'll provide the process. If you accept responsibility and don't blame others, you'll find you have the control to shape your future. Okay, we're going to switch over to Google in a second and have some fun. First thing I'm going to show you is my favorite approach to research. In Google, you can put in a keyword and search, but you'll get a lot of unrelated results. If you're going to get unrelated results, you might as well make them agency specific. So I only want to research cloud in the Navy from Navy sources or sites. And I'll show you this in a second, but I'll put in cloud as my keyword. Then I'll tell Google to only look at Navy sites by typing in site:navy.mil. And then finally, I want to limit my results to PDF files so I can get some key documents. Later, I'll move that filter and see more results from the Navy. So I haven't done this search yet. You'll see me do it raw. But what I'm showing you is how quickly I can find relevant information and how you can do the same. And then I'll come back to it and thoroughly analyze it once I begin to populate my source of research material. So let's go ahead and pop over to Google. Okay, so I'm going to just Control V, because I already had it ready, what I just said. So I've got cloud in here, you can see. And I guess I can zoom for 1 second just to make it a little bigger. This, again, I said Neil Raw, right? So here's cloud. That's the keyword I'm searching for. And then site : and anything after that is where it'll limit the search. So I said limit it to navy.mil. And then I said file type is I want PDFs. You could have put in MP4s to see videos. You could have put in PPTs to see PowerPoint, XLS to see Excel. I know that most of what I do for research is PDFs. And so that's perfect for me. Let me go ahead and try to scroll back out here to 100%. There you go. And go ahead and hit enter and go into my search. All right. So as I go through this, I want to get better at not talking too long because I get excited about the data I find. But what I'm really trying to show you in this session is just how to search. You can dig into the data that we find. So one of the first things I do is I instantly ignore the ads, right? Just if you haven't done this before, I want to just start from the beginning. So I ignore the ads, and I'm going to zoom in again. Let me just line this up a little easier. So the first one I see is download cloud BCA evaluation criteria. It looks like it's pretty good for me. It's the CIO, so I'm just gonna select it. By the way, I have a mouse that has a wheel, so when I click on the wheel, it opens a new tab, and I'll show you that in a minute. You could also right click and say open link in new tab. It's a great way to keep your source search material, and just I open a ton of tabs, then I'll go look at it. I'm really careful to watch out for what people also ask for. Although it is really valuable at the moment, I want to stay on track with what I'm looking for. Okay, so cloud security information, not cloud. This one looks interesting to me, and the reason is because there's two types of cloud information: the one I want and the one I don't want. And I know that the one I don't want is the one that's teaching Navy personnel how to use the cloud in their day-to-day job. I don't care about that. That's what they need. What I'm looking for is anything that talks about the strategy, the vision, the implementation of the cloud more broadly. So, like right here. So let me come back for a second. I'm going to give you my next filter, which I forgot to mention. And I noticed it because I saw 2016. I don't need old data. So I'm going to come all the way up here to the top. I've got my filter in place like you saw. I'm going to come over to this tools. And by the way, I'm just using Internet Explorer. You could use Chrome. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in Google, you'll see the same things I see. But if I click on tools, right here it says anytime. And basically it's saying how old do you want the results to be? And what I want is the past year. I'm not going to teach you all about Google except for to say, filter this down by past year, and you'll see some really good information because it's normal. It's recent. So I'm actually going to start again and try to get rid of that guy. Close that tab. And I'm going to close this tab too. I don't know what they are and I don't care. What I want to do is start this fresh search here. Okay, so I'm coming down here. You see the first thing it says is telework capabilities. That's what I don't care about. That's how to do your job. And so I'm going to keep on moving. Right here, I see their technical focus area, which is exactly what I want. And keep this in mind. So I'm in the Navy site. It instantly tells me that the major buying command is NAVWAR and it's under PEO EIS. And I think they've changed that designation, but still very relevant. And I guess it's reverent too, but relevant. I'm going to go ahead and get that one open. I definitely want that. Here's collaboration tools. And I'm looking at this. Here it is. Right here it says reliable access to your files. That means it's for the user. It's not for me who's trying to sell to the government. Again, NAVWAR, PEO, zero trust design. I don't know what it is, right? I don't care what these things are at the moment. I'm just trying to see if they catch my eye enough to move forward. Okay, protect. And I'm not going to do a lot, but this is great. Here's a telework. It's like I get one I want, and then there's one I don't need. So that's teleworking. Again, I don't care. This one was really great. Naval X Playbook. This is the innovation arm of the Navy, and it talks about cloud migration, and it's probably some sort of update. Now, I know for some of these, I don't have access because you need a access card, but at least I'm even aware of it, and I might be able to go back to somebody in the Navy, the small business specialists. These people at Naval X are very nice, and say, hey, is that publicly available? Can I get a copy of it? Just because they put it behind a firewall doesn't mean you couldn't get get a copy of it. Okay, so agile design concepts, that's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and see that. I wanna know, like here, it's talking about the existing hybrid multi-cloud. That tells me that this is kind of their approach to cloud within the Navy. I wanna read it, I wanna see what's going on. But these, in a minute, I'll show you some of the gems in there. It is pretty funny. I just clicked on that guy, and let me try it again. See, I got that 404. And oh, that one came up, which is, oh well. That's funny. I clicked it once, it didn't come up. I clicked it a second time, it came up. So I don't dwell too long on it. Here they're talking about, we'll design a performant defendable cloud. I want that. I'm gonna see what that is. Modern service delivery details. This is where they're talking about their shift in the focus and using COTS. All right, what do we got here? Cloud computing. This is all good stuff, right? And it's presentations. So it's funny. Sorry, down here I got these files I didn't pay attention to that it's trying to open for me. We'll come back to that in a minute. Where's my presentation? There it is. I'm just going to do a couple others. This one's really old. Day 2. This is kind of cool too. They put in stuff. This must be, looks like it's some sort of small business event. Wow, 2003. It's like super old. No, I guess it's just the wrong file name or something, but it's July. So let's go ahead and look at it and see what we find. Identity services, design concept. Let's pick a couple of more of these, just seeing if something pops. NIWIC. Here's an industry day. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Telework, I don't care about. IT conference, I don't care about. Strategic, oh my God, this is exactly the stuff I look for. So right here is a strategic plan. I don't even know if I have this one. For those of you who track what I do, I put out strategic plans all the time. But this one, well, okay, it's a little older. I might have it. It came out in 2020, but it's a current 5-year plan, which is awesome. Okay, so let me just stop. I shared enough there. Let's go in and see what we got. Okay, well, first off, we didn't win. And I'm just going to hit refresh once just to see if it's some sort of issue. It's not, and I'm gone. I don't care to dwell on things. I come in here and I notice they threw me back to a site. This one's cool. Seabed to C-Space, where they talk about information. That's the cloud world. So here's PEO Digital. That's what it is. EIS turned into PEO Digital. And I know this because I've researched the Navy, but I can go in here and dig further, but that's enough for the moment. There's another one of those. It's like when it errors out, it just throws you back here. Okay, so here's that strategy, and I don't think I've seen this. This looks beautiful, and I don't think I put it out yet, but I probably will tomorrow. But coming in here, just really quickly, you can see from the table of contents, it's instantly telling me about their strategic goals. This modernization is a world that a cloud company would be in. Anybody in the cloud arena, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, machine learning, et cetera, they're always going to be in that IT modernization, which is happening across the entire federal government. How do we move the entire environment into cloud off of prem? Anyways, I don't want to go too far, but this is just awesome, where they talk about tactical IT, workforce is the people, and communication, how they're getting the word out, and then business. I got to figure out whether that's their own business or industry, but I would dig down into this 20-page document and find a lot. One thing I'll push through, I talk often about find your influencers. So it looks like Dahlgren would definitely be a place I want to be tracking as a potential customer if I'm in this cloud space, right? So this commanding officer is somebody I want to follow, go see, like do more researches. Did this person put out other documents? What did they say in the industry? Maybe he's out there talking to AFC or whoever and putting out some information. I can find it. Same thing with coming down, technical director. I can read what this man's responsible for. I can research them on their website. Let me just go through here really quick to see if there's anything else that sometimes one of my favorite things in these documents, I'm going to go pretty fast, so forgive me. I love this stuff, right? They lay it out. They're telling you what their entire environment looks like. When you're writing a response, you need to be able to speak to the language that's in this 5-year plan if you're writing to these folks. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go all the way down. Sorry for the fast scrolling, but let me go to the bottom and see what I got down here. Okay, so it's just strategic goal. Okay, I was right. The business solutions are internal solutions, but okay, that's enough on that one. You see, that's a gold mine for me to do additional research. I'm going to come up here to this one. So here's the cloud security information impact level matrix, which is great for me. And it's just a single page document. And it's funny, I would almost redo this diagram to make it look prettier and talk about where my cloud company, example company fits into this process. If you're not in this space, don't try to understand this document, but those of you who are in IT or in professional services, you get this, you see this process flow, you begin to tie your approach and your offerings into this. And it's the same thing. If you're in construction, you wouldn't find a process like this, but you might find similar type documents that lay out how they manage the overall assets that they have, buildings, the projects, et cetera. So here's another one we clicked on, Department of Navy. It came up with this one. And I think I've read this one before. Let me come down to the table of contents. So this one has never really gotten old. The right information in the right hands at the right time. They've modified it a little bit, but I can come in here and I can see their vision for what they're doing. I'm looking for some cloud related stuff. right here, probably, modernizing their infrastructure is something, this is only 15 pages. I'm going to click on that in a second, but yeah, and the rest of this, like I'm going to come down to references. So let me click on those two. These are fast research. But here, right here, steps have been taken, need to be taken more to consolidate cloud brokers, acquisition teams, leverage agile methodologies, et cetera. This is our world. And they're talking about some challenges. And so when I talk with my capture and proposal team, we'll be focusing on this. How can we spin that challenge up higher? How can we learn more about it? How can we integrate it into our responses? And then I said page 10, which I'm assuming is page 15, or look at this beautiful thing. I mean, this is my favorite thing about doing research. You learn so much. And by the way, just a side note for any of my people who just follow everything I put out, because I know I put out a lot, but when I started my government contracting career and being an entrepreneur in the government contracting space, it was right after I got out of the Army. I was working for the Secretary of the Army, the Undersecretary, Chief Staff. So all of this high-level Force 21 type activity. This is back in the 90s, so it was a while ago. But when I got out, this thing here is exactly what I did in my first year of being in the GovCon space, is taking their vision and putting it down graphically. Now I'm in the, let's say, the IT space. It's about implementing this stuff, but it's fun to come back. Anyways, this type of diagram is exactly what you want to be communicating back, that you see it, you understand it, and they're so generous to give it to you. I've said this 1,000 times, and I will never tire of saying this. When you look at this thing, when you look at any document, they give you these reference materials that come all the way back saying it's tied to the DoD digital modernization strategy. I'm like, okay, let me go look at DoD and see what they say. I get this language. That's all tied back to the, so this is only going, I don't even know if this is the NDAA, but anyways, the point is, you get it. You start seeing all these going back. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to sell to the Navy and expect it to be a 10 or $100 million customer for you, then read these documents. At the very least, skim them so that you have an awareness of what's going on. I believe if you don't do that, then you're not serious about the goals, but that's all I have to say about that. And this is optional on whether you read a book from 1948. Okay, so that was a good one there. I'm coming back here. It's another NavWar. So these NavWar sites that are coming up, it's because I searched for PEO. The results were PEO EIS, which is an old organizational name, which is now digital, I think. But I'm just going to type in cloud for the fun of it. I've been here a while. So here's their service portfolio. I'll pull that guy up. Well, this looks kind of interesting. Contact you guys. I am very interested in doing that. And here's about. So these, I mean, there's a whole bunch more I could probably dig for, but let's just take these. In here, I'm quickly learning. So PEO Digital Enterprise Services, or PEO Digital, is a major program office, right? It's called PEO for Program Executive Office. And when you come in here, now I'm looking at the, I'm assuming the subordinate offices, right? I don't want to dig too far into it, but I can see this and I can see what's in. And all of this stuff about the network fits into the cloud that I'm talking about. Sorry about that. Anyways, commercial cloud services. So all of these I would dig further in. I'm not going to do it with you right now, but this one thing I went to where they lay out their structure tells me I want to do further research on that. So let me pause, because remember, this is, I don't know if this is going to be 15 minutes or 30 minutes, but this is designed to be a quick 15-minute exercise. So here was another one. Here it talks about their digital portfolio is exactly what we just looked at. So those are the subordinate commands, if you will. And then this just how to get hold of people, which is fine. I don't overly care about a lot of this stuff. I can come back later, like leadership. So Ruth, I think I've followed her before, but with her, you would want to follow her. If she's in this role, she is an influencer in this entire space, not just in PEO and the Navy, but in DoD and frankly in industry. When you're talking about Amazon and Microsoft for the cloud space, they're seeing what people like this are thinking. What are your needs? What are your challenges? What are your goals for 5-10 years out? And she's thinking about those. Not to totally speak on her behalf, but again, here's another one that's just a different variation of how they put the same information. So let's keep moving. NavWar, we've played this game before, NavWar. Okay, so here's the playbooks that are in here that I talked about with Naval X, or however you properly say that for anybody who wants to correct me. But in here, here's published playbooks that they talk about. And I mentioned that the CAC is required, right? But as I look at this stuff, cloud migration part 1 and 2, I'm going to go get that. If it's not sensitive information, then I want that. I want to get it back. And they generally want you to have access to a lot of information that they've made available inside, partly because it's publicly funded, publicly available, but partly because it's helping industry get engaged with the government and the way they're thinking. They may or may not say it's there. These ones are in progress. This is great, right? I'm telling you, my example company is cloud. I want to find cloud migration part 1 and 2, which is right here, second bullet from the bottom. But playbooks in progress tells me there's 4 other cloud migration parts that are being in work. I want to go and find out who's putting those together. Who are these people? How can I get engaged? Are they asking industry for any advice? Because they don't know everything in the Navy. They're looking for this engagement with collaborative engagement with industry. So I'm going to go find that out. And just this quick search drew me right to that. Hey, look, another NAVWAR. And I think we're down to the wire on this. There's nothing there. I'll refresh just for the fun of it, but I might have opened this one already. Yes, superiority. We already got that guy. And this guy is not there because it's the same thing. Occasionally I can go back and grab these, right? If I wanted to, and you should keep this in mind. You see how it says NAVWAR PEO EIS. The reason it fails is because that URL doesn't work anymore because PEO EIS is now digital or whatever. That means all these URLs are gone, but there's a really good chance that the modern service delivery detail document is available. And in fact, just for the fun of it, I'll show you. Now, this is the problem with doing things for the fun of it, because it may or may not work. But let me come up here. I'm going to type this in. I'm going to get rid of this %20 as a space, in case you don't know that. Come over here. $2020. Let's see what we got. Modern service delivery. It's under PEO. I don't see it there. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, but I'm looking for, it's still PEOs. These are all, I'm assuming, bad links. Let me get rid of this part here. And I don't want to go too far with you, but I just want to show you how you can find it. So it's still under PEO. So I can't get it from these links. They both die. But they're publicly available. So I can reach out to them and ask them for this. This is from the chief architect. I want this document. And I'm going to, one way or another, I'm going to go find it. In fact, I'm sorry, just to show you how determined I can be on some of these things. If I click on this guy again, actually here, how about if we put it in this search instead? It's searching right now. This looks like generic stuff. It's not the documents. So I'd have to reach back to them. It looks like when they made their changes, they might have just got rid of a lot of the documents. But those things are, at least now I know the name. And I can go back to the small business specialist, or I can get into the program office and ask them about it. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I just want to come back to my title screen as I get ready to wrap this up. But this was designed to just be a fast way of showing you how to search. My question going in to the search was, who owns the cloud, right? So in the Navy, who owns the cloud? And I learned a lot of stuff there. And one of the things, if you didn't notice, that it was going a lot towards NAVWAR. Yeah, I just had to pop over for a second into Google and remind myself. But a lot of stuff is in NAVWAR. I'm like, okay, they're obviously information warfare. There's going to be a big portion of it. Let me see what's going on. That was designed to just show you how I use Google when I'm doing rapid search to find a lot of relevant material that I then spend a few days analyzing to really own the direction and the roadmap of what I want to do to knock on doors and ask the customer more questions, learn about their challenges and goals, et cetera. So, okay, that's that. If you found the content valuable, others will too. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Make sure to sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities at www.govconchamber.com. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.